How's it going, Devils fans? Hope you're all doing well today. So, just wanted to make a quick video on the Devils California road trip the past weekend. I am currently living in California, and the moment I moved here for my job, I was determined to make sure I went on that road trip, maybe missing a day or two of work. Luckily, I had a 4-day weekend at the exact same time that road trip happened, so it was absolutely perfect. I got to watch the Devils win my first 3 road wins, as a Devils fan. I've been to quite a few road games beforehand. Dallas, Coliseum, MSG, Barclays Center, and I just consistently watched my team lose in all those games. So to finally see them win in the road, all 3, it was super fun. I just want to share just about my experiences as a road fan, what you would probably expect in a California trip, and just kind of, and provide a montage too. I did record, quite a bit of videos, pictures. I'll combine some stuff at the end of this video. If you want to skip to that, feel free to do so. But anyways, so that Friday, the morning, I start driving. I'm driving for a couple of hours, and I have a little bit of car damage. Basically, my parking spot at my job, it's not great. There were these cement blocks of some metal rods attached to them in the way of my space, and it ended up damaging my car in some areas. And in the back of my car, the back bumper area, it had disattached several days prior to the trip. I kind of reattached it, pushed it in, but as I was driving on the highway, the weather was awful, super windy, and ended up coming way off, and it was not really drivable. So I had to call AAA. It took them 4 hours to get there. It was not a great start to the road trip, but I kind of kept positive. I was very excited about the game. I just wanted to make sure I could get to the game in time. Luckily, I was able to. I really did leave quite early that day. So, all worked out fine. And that was the one, kind of low point of the trip. But honestly, I'm kind of happy it happened, because the rest of it was just super fun, super great. It was damaged anyways. I was going to get it fixed. But I feel like I was even more excited for the games just because I was able to do the road trip. There was kind of a hint of thought, bit of a thought coming in, how about if I can't get to Anaheim? How about if I waste all that money on the Airbnbs and I can't watch my team on the road? Anyways, I just, for some reason, thought that was important to include. I made it safe and sound in Anaheim. I remember I was walking to the arena, and I saw a group of Devils fans, kind of in the distance. I kind of, fast walked, got to them and started talking to them, and, we got the same crest, basically family right there. So I was talking to one guy who, we kind of saw each other through that game, the next game, and met a lot of other Devils fans along the way. It was fun just to see them from arena to arena. When we got in the arena, all of a sudden, we see Chico Resch with some other Devils fans. So we come over, take a picture, and then I recognize this other Devils fan. It's a Devils Facebook friend that I recognize from some of the groups. And, we talked, which is super fun. And then all of a sudden, this random Devils fan I've never seen before come up to me, and he's like, I recognize you. And it turns out he had seen my channel, NJD blog, which I thought was, super cool. It's happened to me a couple of times, and I never know how to respond, because I'm just a fan. But I think it's always, if you ever recognize me and, you recognize the channel, definitely go ahead, come say hi. If I seem I don't know what to say, it's because I probably don't know what to say. But I don't know, I thought that was pretty funny and pretty cool. So, met a bunch of Devils fans, eventually met another awesome Devils fan while watching the warm-ups, just talking about Jersey and the team and all that. Most of these Devils fans, they originally were in Jersey, obviously work and other things kind of got them to California. Anyways, watched the game. All my seats were really solid. This first one, I was 7 rows away from the ice, double shoot twice side. And my goal for these 3 games was to be if the Devils score and it's on the double shoot twice side, to see me cheer and kind of get myself visually on the TV. That was important to me, because growing up as a Devils fan, you always see a bunch of away fans of the Rock, and it's frustrating to see them cheer like crazy. You see them on TV when their away team scores, and I always wanted to be that fan. So I made it a point to get some close seats throughout all 3 games. That row 7 ticket, it was just a little bit from the cutoff. The Devils score, the Devils and the Anaheim Ducks score that square on the screen kind of blocked me off. I ended up going down to row 5 so you could see me later in the game. But it was so fun. The Devils dominated. They scored so many goals. There were so many Devils fans. Let's go Devils chants going on throughout the game. And I'll make sure to post a clip of that at the end of this video. But very fun. It was I think maybe 25%, maybe even 30% Devils fans, at least in that lower bowl. It was packing, it was popping, we were cheering loud. It was awesome. So very fun night overall, and then went out with some Devils fans afterwards. The next day in LA, went back at it. Met some fans before the game, and a lot of the same fans from Anaheim were coming to this one, which was pretty cool. So my seat was very interesting. It was technically row 4 where the Devils shot twice, but it was the only seat in the row, which was interesting. The person that sold it to me was the person in front of me who saw on StubHub. We talked for a bit, which is kind of funny. And it was row 2 of the section technically, because there was nothing for rows 2, 1. It was awesome seats, awesome view, and it was another big win for the Devils. Very fun game. A few less Devils fans of this game. LA, it's more pricey, but still quite a few. Lots of cheers, some Devils fan chants. Another really fun one. And for that one, I brought a sign that I made, referencing, Jack Hughes and Gato. I wrote a sign that said, Blue Gato's better than Yellow Gato, because Jack, I think, said Yellow Gato was his favorite in an interview, just whatever. Hoping he was going to notice. I think he gave me eye contact during warm-ups for a second, maybe. Maybe that's just me hoping that happened, I don't know. But, it wasn't really noticed too much by the players on the ice. Devils fans, some noticed it, which is pretty cool. Overall, very fun game. And the next day was the Devils' day off. I ended up visiting a nice small town called Solvang. It's a Danish town, very cool place, lots of nice food, good vibes. And I went to a sports bar at the end and watched the New York Giants game against the Vikings. They didn't crush it, but they played a very good game. They won. I was probably the only Giants fan there. Very fun one for sure. I say that with sadness because the Giants' second playoff game versus the Eagles was last night, and it was just a complete disaster. They looked awful. But it was a very fun game. My teams were 3 for 3 on this trip, which was pretty cool. Following day, I watched them play the Sharks. Decent amount of Devils. I think of the trip, the games, the Sharks game, I saw the least Devils fans, but there were still quite a few. Got a few chants going, but it wasn't popping too much. It was a fun one though. In that game, I was row 3. I really got some good seats for this trip. That was definitely one of the highlights. And then something weird happened on my side. A piece of the boards kind of broke off. There's a delay of game, the final few minutes, where they ended up extending the second period for an extra few minutes. Never seen that before as a fan. But anyways, super fun. Devils were down basically the entire, they were up in the beginning of the game, but then they were down for a good majority of it. And then to see Jack Hughes tie that up with less than 10 seconds to go, it was just so exciting. You felt like the Devils could maybe do it just with the way they were playing. They were outshot in the beginning, but then they really got some power going, and it just seemed like nothing could stop these Devils. Jack Hughes shot, it goes in. I was talking to the Sharks fan behind me. He said it happened identically like that against the Ducks multiple times, and it's been tough to be a Sharks fan these past couple of years. So, anyways, as Devils fans, we've been there, right? Devils tied up. It's 3-3. We see him in a shootout. I was telling the Sharks fans, I was talking, okay, Devils suck at shootouts. We're not going to win. They were telling me, no, the Sharks also suck, are bad at shootouts. The Devils sucked a little bit less. Tatar got that big winner, and I went 3 for 3 for the Devils road trip, 4 for 4 if you include the Giants' big playoff win. It was a very fun weekend of sports. So, just a fun, action-packed weekend. And those away games are so fun. It's you see a bunch of Devils fans, and you got that, you see the visual, and it just they're family right there, especially when you're in enemy territory. So you end up having, a lot of fun conversations and meeting fans from all over the country. And one thing I noticed, there were not many chirps from any of the California teams fans, at least towards me. Anaheim, there was no talk at all. I think Kings was a little more chippy, but I didn't really deal with too much. Talked to another fan who said he got some chirps his way. I think the biggest chirp I got was from Whole Foods when I was in San Jose. One of the workers was saying a couple things, but I don't know. There was no chirping, which was interesting. I know if you go to a big market team in Canada, I've been to MSG before, definitely got a few chirps there. It was interesting to see not a whole lot of that there. I guess California's a little bit nicer. Who knows? Maybe not as passionate for their teams. I don't want to say that though. But maybe just not as energetic and wild as you would see from other teams. But overall, it was a very fun road trip. Definitely recommend making the California trip. It might not be as successful as mine. I mean, you're probably not going to see the Devils win all 3 games. That's usually not the case, but it's very fun. and it was awesome to see all the Devils fans support the team around California. Go ahead if you want to watch the rest of the video. I'll provide a little bit of a montage of my trip, mostly just focused on the Devils games. Enjoy it, and let's go Devils. Nice squat, Jack. Oh my God!